Hey guys, what's up? Firefang92. It's been a while without content, and well, there's nothing good on TV, so I figured why not deck profile time. This one's gonna be on Granblu, just because it's one of the ones I have that got pretty thoroughly updated recently. The other deck that I updated out of the Fighter collection was Gear Chronicle, and I can't show that off because it's just frankly a little bit bad. I am not fucking spending $80 on fucking Ragnarclocks. Huh. But yeah. I'll have set 3 stuff hopefully pretty soon to show you. Some golds, and of course Jill. But for now, post-fighter collection Granblu. And as you can see, we're going to start off with the starter. Skeleton Assault Troops Captain. Search is a grade 3. 4K. Counterblast. Top 5. Yeah, usually I don't like to play this type of starter because most of my decks are more aggressive and they don't like the 4K. But I play Granblu pretty defensively, so 4K is fine. Usually I'm playing this, Peter the Ghosty, but first off, deck outs are a bit too common in this build, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Deck outs are... Oh, right, and I'd like to get off the grade 3 search because there's some specific grade 3s I need to ride. So we're going to start off with the grade 3s. First off, we got 3 copies of Ice Prison Hades Emperor Casitas Reverse. What he does is lock 1, mill the top 3, and then choose a card, revive it, and give it 3K. Alone, that's kind of so-so. But you can combo it and tell a lot of stuff, and also we need him for this ride. Also, he gets a cross ride if you ride him over base Casitas. Speaking of which, 3 copies base Casitas. Limit Break gets 5K at a 10K base. Counterblast 2 when placed on Vanguard. This is the important effect. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose Granblu from your drop and revive it. So there's some specific Casitas support that came out of the Fighter collection. So I'm trying to maximize my number of Casitases. Also, that second ability, if you get it off and then stride over him, is kind of a nice combo. Next up, we got 2 copies of Lord of the Seven Seas Night Mist. He is a break ride from all the way back in set 13, and what happens when you break ride on top of him is you call 2 things from the drop, and they get plus 5K. So that is in fact astonishingly good. It's great for making a push, got a lot of combo potential, and it really messes with Link Joker if you're up against a Link Joker. So I really love this guy. If I have the option, I'm never going to be playing a Granblu deck without him ever again. Next off, we move into the grade 2s. 3 copies of Commodore Blue Blood, 10K beat stick, because 10K beat stick. I am running a 6K base in this deck, who you can probably guess at if you're experienced with Granblu. Also, defensive ride early on. Not bad. Next off, we have 3 copies of Dragon Undead Ghoul Dragon. When he's revived, he gets the effect that if he hits a Vanguard, you can choose one of your opponent's units and retire it. Or rather, one of their rear guards. You can't retire Vanguards or anything. But, yeah, nice card. A little bit of retire power. Good revive target. Especially with the Break Ride. Because that gives it 5k power, etc. Next off, we have 2 copies of Ruin Shade. She does is when she attacks, you can mill the top 2 cards to give her 2k. Now, some may say I only play 2 because I can only bind 2. Others say that first guy was right. Why are you asking me? Yeah, I could only find 2 because she's very old, very out of print. But, you know, again, you do deck out kind of a lot, so I wanted to keep her a bit lower. And also, not really sure what the 11k attack does, except, you know, guarantee she can attack alone. So it's not the best. Okay, next off, we have something we have to talk about. Skeleton Swordsman at 1. He is a special interceptor, which, if you haven't been playing since back in the day, means when he intercepts, he becomes a 10k shield. The reason I'm playing this is because of the strength of Granblu. Because you see a lot of people being like, you know, Granblu's mechanic isn't good unless they can, you know, guard from the drop or something, because, you know, it's just a less consistent version of the deck. Things go in at the same speed, so you just... No. That's not the point. With a deck that utilizes the drop zone means you can continually use things and get more efficiency out of your cards than you can in any other clan. So while this is just a 10k shield on its own, I can keep bringing it back and get 20 or 30 shield out of him in a game. And that's really very good. Also, I'm comfortable playing him in the deck despite the 8k base because Granblu is really consistent about their field. Next off, tech spot of 1, Dragon Corrode Corrupt Dragon. When he's revived, he becomes a 12k attacker. A little more attack consistency, never hurts. Next up, we have grade 1s, and the obvious 4 Sentinels, 3 PGs, 1 Quintet Wall. Some might say that I could only find 3 PGs, others might say, seriously dude, stop ignoring him when he's right. You know, I do kind of like having the 1 Quintet Wall just because, you know, quintets do come in handy if you need to save your hand or so on. If you want to build this deck and you're willing to drop the extra $20 to $30 to get another copy of him, do it. But, you know, she's like only a couple dollars and really not that bad. He's like $20 to $30 and amazing. Next up, we have 3 copies of the staple card, Sea Strolling Banshee. Now this time, it isn't just because I couldn't find enough of her. This time, it's because you deck out too fast, and you run out of soul too fast, so I'm only playing 3. But she's definitely staple, so you definitely want to run her at 2 or 3. When she's revived from the drop zone, Soul Blast 1, draw a card. And she's very amazing in combination with another card we'll talk about in a minute. Next up, we have 2 Dandy Guy Romario, 8k body. Defensive Ride also makes your Skeleton Swordsman forgivable. Next up, we have what used to be a staple, 2 copies of Samurai Spirit. I find I'm using him less and less as time goes on, just because, you know, consistency isn't that much of an issue anymore. And, yeah, I still like to play him at 2 because he can still be nice at points, but I find he's a lot less useful than he used to be. Next up, we have 2 copies of Boatswain Armin. When he's revived from the drop zone, he becomes a 10k. So that's nice because he can boost your Rune Shades or your Grade 3s or Dragon Corrupts up to a nice 21-22 row. Helps you make pushes. Next up, we have 1 copy of Dancing Cutlass. This is basically an emergency out in case you need something from your soul in the drop before you start making your push. Because with what's-her-face, Sea Strolling Banshee, you have to call her from the drop, but with this you can call it from the hand. He used to be staple at higher numbers, but I still like to play him at 1 in case there is something I need to get out of the soul, or I need an earlier draw or something. Next up we have triggers, and of course I am playing 4 heal. 3 of the cute one, 1 of the adorable one. Then we have 4, 7, 9 critical. The reason I'm running 9 critical, again, you do sort of get enough pluses to make playing the lower number of draw triggers forgivable. And you need the crits to help boost aggression, because there isn't a lot of pure aggression that this deck can do. Also, 4 of Rough Seas Banshees, because she is absolutely amazing. Slip her into the soul, draw a card. So think about any, and this is another part where it comes back to Granblu can get extra utility out of cards that you've already used, because you can drop it, revive it, and turn the revive skill into just draw a card, and get a +1 to soul. So she's fantastic, especially in combination with like your Break Ride or your Rough Seas Banshees, just to get the extra soul. I mean, Sea Strolling Banshees. She's Rough Seas. She is amazing in combination with herself. It's true. Yeah, so you can get the extra consistency out of that. Next off, we have 1 Lonely Stand trigger. When a Grade 3 Granblu, unfortunately not Grade 3 or greater Granblu, is placed on Vanguard, you can call him behind it. Nice little +1. You usually end up just immediately swapping him for a Samurai Spirit, or perhaps locking him if for some reason you're at Limit Break and using Casitas Reverse. Stranger things have happened. Anyway, a nice little +1. Again, it was a lot more useful back in the day. It's become less useful. Next off, we have 2 draw triggers, because a deck without draws is blasphemy. Next up, and one final thing. You got 2 copies of Chappie the Ghosty. When he's placed on Guardian Circle, search your deck for a card, put it into the drop zone. So he just boosts your consistency up that much, because you can search your entire deck, put whatever combo piece you need in the drop zone. Easy peasy. It was a little bit more useful when the deck was Night Mist, Night Snow. But he's still very nice. Gets you your Sea Strollings in the drop, gets you your Armins in the drop, whatever you need in the drop, he puts in the drop. Next off, we have G-Units. Yay! 3 copies of the core of the deck. Ice, Prison, Hades, Deity, Casitas, Negative. Counterblast 1, put the top 3 cards of your deck into the drop. Revive a card. Then if the card revived was a Casitas, you can revive a grade 1 and give it 4k. So, essentially, what you're looking... Oh, and your heart has to be a Casitas. You're looking to call out him, and then her behind him. So you make a 21 column for 1 counterblast and 3 mill, and get an additional draw off of it, which is pretty great. Not much to say about that. And all in all there, you went plus 3, so, 3 or 4, depending how you want to count the soft plus from the power. So yeah, just fantastic card on balance. Mill 3, a little bit inconvenient. Again, you are prone to deck out in this build, but what you gonna do? Next up, we have 3 copies of Pirate King of the Abyss, Blue Heart. I always stick on the Pirate King, because I keep thinking Luffy. Anyway, act once per turn, counterblast, choose 2 occupied rearguard circles, and call cards from the drop zone into them. That's pretty nice, especially once you've finished using up this guy, because then you'll have a bunch of rows of, just Casitas and, like, the Casitas and Sea Strolling. And you'll want to either replace the Casitases for interceptors like Commodore Blue Blood, because 10 in front of 6 is 16. Replace a whole row with Swordsman and Dandy Guy Romario, because 8 and 8 is 16. Or just go ahead and replace your Sea Strollings with Armins, because 10 and 11 are 21. If you're feeling like making a more aggressive play. Basically, he allows you to toolbox into a lot of your combo pieces and just fix your field if you have to. Not much more to say about that, I guess. Next up, we have the 2 generics. 1 Madu, because we are playing a 10k base in this deck, and 1 Blizza, because I never leave home without. So, I guess that was the deck, guys. It's not exactly as competitive as maybe it has been in the past, or hopefully will be in the future, but for right now, it's a pretty fun deck. Very enjoyable. You make a lot of technical moves that you have to sort of think about, which makes it a more satisfying game, I think. So that was it for Granblu. Hope that holds you over in the interim. Next week, hopefully, Gilles and other stuff. See you then. Firefang92, signing out.